find services on the local computer. You can see that each of these tools gives me some basic information about what they are, but I would need to know what they really were. You can see up here in the tabs that we have an option. We have a tab that's standalone. The standalone snap-ins are provided by the developer of an application, and you can see that those are full tools: Active Directory users and computers, disk management, disk defragmenter, and so on. The extension snap-ins can be used as standalone snap-ins or as or you can actually take parts of a snap-in out. For example, in Active Directories, Users, and Computers, I can uncheck Add All Extensions, and then I can remove certain features. So if I don't want to be able to edit the group policies or terminal services, I can remove those extensions. Similarly, if I go down to Disk Management, I have an option to remove this one. And with services, the same thing goes. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK, and you'll see that the snap-ins have loaded, and I can actually open these and use them. Here I have basically the same tool as Active Directory Users and Computers. And so I've built a snap-in that contains most of the tools that I'll be using to administer this server. I can rename the console root admin tools, and I can save the console. I'll save it to the desktop as admin tools. And I'll close out of it, and you'll see that admintools.msc has been saved to my desktop. I'll open it up, and here we are again. And we're ready to go, ready to do anything we would need to manage the server with these tools. And that saves you a lot of time from loading the individual tools. If you need them regularly, it makes perfect sense to create an MMC. Now let's take a look at some of the options that we have. You can see that we can change the title, local server administration, tools, change the icon that's displayed, and change the console mode. If I look at the console modes, you can see that there are 4 modes. There is author mode, user mode with full access, user mode with limited access and multiple windows, and user mode with limited access single window. If you're creating this to be used by your coworkers, then you may want to take it out of author mode to reduce the amount of changes that they can make to the tool. This can give you a very light level of access control, but of course you always want to do your access control in Active Directory rather than in the front-end tools, because there's always ways around. Author mode gives you full control to add and edit a tool. User mode with full access grants users full access to all window management commands and to the console trees provided. It prevents users from adding or removing snap-ins or changing the console properties. User mode with limited access and multiple windows grants users access only to the areas of the console tree that were visible when the console was saved. Users can create new windows but cannot close existing windows. And user mode with limited access and a single window grants users only access to the areas of the console tree that were visible when the console was saved. It prevents users from opening new windows. So I'm going to go ahead and apply user mode with limited access, and I'm going to expand a couple tools. And we'll save this and close. Now when I open the tool, you can see that things look pretty much the same. Tool still works the same as it did before, but when I go to the File menu, I no longer have the ability to add or remove snap-ins. Also, when I go to Properties, I can't change the author mode. Going to exit out again. Now let's say that we need to make changes to this console. Simply right-click and click Author, and you'll enter the author mode again with the full ability to update the author settings. Now that you know a little bit more about Microsoft Management Console, you should create one using the tools that you think that you will use regularly. In fact, why don't you create one using the tools that I've included? Active Directory Users and Computers, Disk Management, Disk Defragmenter, Event Viewer, and Services. After you've done that, build a second server machine and name it Server 02. We're going to use that to do remote management. Thanks for watching this podcast, and tune in soon for the next video.